What is up? What is up, everybody? How we doing today? Why I gotta be late? Because I suck. I don't know what else to tell you. I try. I I showed up. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the stream at 12:30. And then it was 12:24. I was watching a speed run of Hollow Knight, and I was like, you know what? I need to get ready for the stream. Realized I had nothing set up. I had to make the window. I had to do everything, so I'm very unprepared. You have to excuse me. See, as you can see, I got the now playing over the members. I'm all kinds of messed up today. But how we doing, guys? How we all doing today? I hope we're all having a great Friday, a great start to the weekend. I hope everyone's killing it in their everyday lives. Super happy to have all of you guys here with me today. Put the music right up here. I hope this stream setup isn't a little too ADHD for you guys. Again, I literally set this up in what, 5 minutes, but I hope we're okay with it. I know you guys are okay with it. We're gonna have some fun today. How we doing, everybody? Who's in the chat? Tiberius is here, Sparked is here, Legend Guy 10 is here, Jerome's is here, Last Shikigami, Brad DeAngelis. How we all doing, everybody? Glad to see us here. Dev's on summer vacation. We love to see that. Koi said, we're good. How am I? I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty well. Today is my little brother's birthday. So that's why we had to start the stream a little early. So we're going to run through all of this. As you guys know, we're going to be ranking every single story arc in Jujutsu Kaisen. I saw a couple comments earlier before the stream started basically saying, oh, wow, I didn't know there were 18 story arcs. So as you can see, I did kind of split up a couple of them into some of the mini arcs. Like we have Tokyo Colony 1, Tokyo Colony 2. I even separated Gachinko Fight Club from Perfect Preparation with Maki's side of things, just to make things fun, because I feel like certain things do deserve a little bit more discussion. And I feel like we can really make it fun, and there's a lot to touch on. I basically want to go through every arc, explain what I liked about the arc, what I maybe didn't like about the arc, some good character development points, and just all the really awesome things that we enjoy about Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm glad to enjoy it with all of you guys. Hey, Tiberius, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Blessed me yesterday, so gotta return the favor. Oh, and with the 5 gifted memberships right after that, let me move the alert box over everything. See, I told you I had this ADHD setup. Thank you very much, Tiberius. That means a lot to me. Thank you for the gifted members. Thank you for the donations. Seriously. Have I watched Oshi no Ko? You know, they're the 4th or 5th person to recommend the Oshi no Ko to me, so I'll probably will get on to that. Miwa cosplay is indeed coming soon. Don't worry about it. So I'm probably gonna do the Miwa cosplay. I actually just got my wig in the mail. I'm still waiting for the cosplay outfit to get here. So that will probably be a little bit longer because I had to get it tailored. It was very specific, right? Oh, Jerome Simons with the 10 gifted. Thank you both. Jerome Simons, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Congratulations to every single person that just got a gifted membership. Enjoy your Sakuna badge, enjoy your member emojis, and you enjoy your ability to vote on future videos and everything of the sort. So I already said you intentionally trimmed your hair so that wig fits perfectly. Hey, you might have been right. Maybe I can't lie. Maybe I was born to do this. I always wanted to do this. Seriously. Thank you everyone that donated and the gifted members. The Miwa cosplay is coming soon. Once I get everything tailored, I will plan a stream to have everything. Actually, before I get into everything, guys, I know the VOD people are gonna hate this. I'm sorry. I'll get into the video. I promise. There will be a stream May 6th. I'm gonna do a second higher ups meeting. Second higher ups meeting. It's gonna be Diavolo, Creams, and Broken Ronin from the Honored Ones again. I'm gonna be returning. It's gonna be an awesome stream. I got 3 hours of awesome content planned. I'm not going to tell you guys what is planned, but just know it's going to be revolving around season 2 and the end of Jujutsu Kaisen. So remember that, May 6th. Get the Miwa sword as well. I already got a katana myself, so I got that covered. Don't worry about that. I already had that ready to go. Marcio, 5 p.m. and somehow I'm here. I'm so glad I could stream for you at a reasonable time. You have no idea how happy that makes me. But anyway, guys, let's get into this. Like I said, I don't want to piss the VOD people off. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Looks like we got a bunch of people in chat right now. So we got 67 viewers. Make sure we can hit 50 likes. I know we can hit that. Certified Fanboy is here. I'm glad you're here too. All right, so I'm gonna try and go in somewhat order. I know it's all kind of jumbled up on the tier list, but that's okay. We persevere. We kind of make things happen. So moving forward, we're gonna start things off with the introduction arc. So the introduction arc is basically, I would consider chapters 1 to chapter 4, which is basically the introduction of Yuji, Megami, Gojo, and Nobara right before we get into Curse Womb arc. And obviously, in my honest opinion, it's not the greatest start to an anime or a manga series. It really didn't hook me right away. I mean, the first episode, the first chapter was great. I experienced it anime-wise, so I might say episode. But the first episode is great. You know, it explains how Yuji is just this crazy person who is just fast, strong. No one can really explain it. But his grandfather dies and plants what I think is a possible curse on him. And then that inspires him to go forward, eat the finger, save Fushiguro and his friends in that moment. And then later, after taking on the burden of Sukuna, realizing that he's a vessel for the King of Curses now, he has that small little fight with Yaga, which is a cool little thing. And he realizes that if he just sits around alone doing nothing, the world is going to crumble apart by cursed spirits. We all know that after we've seen what happened. So Yuji takes on the mission to be a sorcerer in just a second finger. We meet Nobara. We get the trio all put together. I would probably say everyone's kind of saying it's C tier. Legend Guy said D tier. Tenro says D tier. D tier just can't compare to the level of majority of the arcs that come later. C tier, yeah, it is definitely pretty low. Like I said, as an introduction arc of an anime, it definitely did not hit me. Definitely did not draw me in, didn't hook me in. I would probably say right now it's a good C tier. We may actually drop it even lower, considering as we talk about some of the other arcs going forward. Oddly Curious Analyzer, I'm pretty sure that's the Red Weeb. Glad I made it to the stream. I'm planning on doing my Yuji video soon. Ironically, hearing you talk about him is a bit funny. Hey, great minds think alike. Hey, Jerome Simons, thank you again for the gifted 5 members. Appreciate that, brother. You are a great benefactor of the channel, and your support is much appreciated. So introduction arc, we'll put it at C tier for right now, and we'll see if we can maybe change that a little bit. But as of right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to the next arc, which I believe is Curse Womb Must Die. Now, Curse Womb Must Die is a great way to pull you in. Like I said, the introduction arc is kind of really slow, kind of really simple and everything like that. But guys, oh my God, Tiberius with the 10 gifted members. Jeez, this is insane. We're gonna have an entire chat of members. That's crazy, guys. Thank you so much, Tiberius. Guys, let me see those Sukuna emojis in chat. Members, let's see it fly. We got so many members now. So Curse Womb Must Die arc. When does Curse Womb Must Die arc end? I would say Curse Womb Must Die arc ends right around the Versus Mahito arc, because it ends right after Gojo versus Jogo, to be completely honest with you. Or would you say Curse Womb Must Die arc ends after Yuji dies, and then Versus Mahito is episode 7 to episode 12, 13? You know what? I like that better. I would probably say that Versus Mahito is, or the Disaster Curse arc and introduction in general is probably its own arc, which we would consider versus Mahito. So Curse Wound Must Die arc is strictly up against the Finger Bearer and Sukuna versus Megami. Yeah, it does. I'll say it ends after Yuji dies. So basically the Curse Wound Must Die arc is our first real Jujutsu mission, which the trio were not ready for, because first of all, they had no idea the Curse Wound would be this strong. Ijichi even says if they find a special grade there, it's gonna be a bad time. And they walk in and the prison is immediately shifted into an innate domain, which is actually their first, you know, inclination that things are not going well. Even Gojo says that Megami should have realized right away that the innate domain was a giveaway. They were dealing with a curse that was way too strong for them. Absolutely way too strong. Jerome Simons, thank you again for the 10 gifted memberships. Guys, I don't know what memberships we're on, but we're going to be at 200 real soon if this is the case. 5, 10, 15, 20... 30, 40. We just got 40 members in such a small amount of time. This is insane, guys. Tiberius, Jerome, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. So yeah, getting back into Curse Wound Must Die, I would probably say that this is a much better hook than the introduction arc of the story, in my honest opinion, because the fact that they find the Finger Bearer and the Finger Bearer literally just cuts Yuji's arm off. Nobara gets sucked away, gets stolen away, and is about to get taken out by all these curse spirits, which she does have a really cool moment where she takes on all those crazy curse spirits by herself and seems to be, you know, fighting up until the very end. She's an awesome person. She's an awesome character, and that shows her willingness to fight as a character, which I really enjoy. We see a little bit more of it as we get into the exchange event arc, but of course we'll talk about that later. So I really enjoy that Yuji's experience with death is one of the most realistic things I've seen in an anime manga, right? When he's about to die, he's like, why did I do this? I could have been playing track. I was a student a week ago, and now I'm a sorcerer fighting this crazy monster, and I'm going to literally die. Like, it's one of the most realistic aspects where he's crying his eyes out, bawling like, I don't want this to be my life. I don't want this to happen. But at the very end of it, he pulls those negative emotions together and is able to say, you know what, fuck it. If I'm gonna go down, I'm not gonna go down crying. I'm gonna go down fighting. And it's at that moment that we hear Divine Dog howl, and Yuji smiles and goes, hey, you know, my boys made it. I can finally let loose and let Sukuna out, which is one of the coolest moments ever, by the way. Sukuna coming in and fighting that Finger Bearer curse is such an awesome moment. Now watching it, I laugh every time. It's so hysterical. Jerome Simons, thank you so much for the donation, brother. Hey guys, I just popped in, have plans with my girl now. I can't keep up with Tiberius. LOL. Enjoy the weekend, guys. That's so, guys, you guys are both awesome. But Jerome, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy your day with your girl. You have a good time, and I'm sending good vibes your way. Thank you so much for everything that you do for the channel. And I didn't know we were in like an auction battle between you guys, but that's funny. So after Sukuna shows up, Sukuna absolutely wipes the floor with the Finger Bearer curse in one of the most hilarious moments I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's be real here. And then he absolutely mollywops Megami in just an absolute crude display of power. One of the craziest. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Oh my God. Bless me. So we've never seen a character move like this. I mean, when Gojo and Sukuna fight in the introduction arc, we kind of see Gojo, you know, teleport and blink back and forth, and Sukuna try and fight him. But we've never seen Sukuna, who now has 3 fingers, throw Megami so far into the air and then be able to meet him there and break his back down. But Megami is also at the end of it finally finding his resolve to fight, which I think is very interesting, that after the Curse Womb Must Die arc, all three characters, Nobara, who seemed to have always had it, Yuji, who gains it at the very last stretch of his life before he dies, and same thing with Megami at the very end, finally being enticed by Sukuna of all people, to fight until his dying breath and about to summon Maharaga, and then Yuji comes back, of course, is a very character developing arc. So I don't want to put it in A because it's not that great, but I think it's a great B tier arc. Definitely an awesome arc, way above the introduction arc, and like I said, a much better hook into the story. And we'll get into what I think is a great follow-up to that, the versus Mahito arc. Although I do see someone was asking the question, how would the Sukuna versus Megami have been if Megami had summoned Maharaga? I mean, we heard Sukuna even say it himself. If Sukuna Three Fingers had fought Maharaga at that moment, he would have lost. And that's without a doubt. Sukuna at Three Fingers was just not strong enough. Even though he's able to fling Megami, 100 feet in the air, it's pretty interesting to think that Maharaga still would have blitzed Sukuna at this point in time. So I don't think it would have, I think it would have changed everything. I mean, Megami would have died, unfortunately. Probably so would have Yuji. We wouldn't have a story at all, but So moving forward, we have the versus Mahito arc, or more accurately, as we kind of talked about, the Disaster Curse introduction arc, where we kind of get introduced to Jogo, Hanami, we see Geto for the first time, and this starts with, of course, their introduction. Yuji finishes the Curse Womb Must Die arc with getting his binding vow with Sukuna, the in-chain vow that we see at the current arc that we're in now, or I believe the current arc we're in now just ended, but you get what I'm saying. So the versus Mahito arc starts off with Gojo versus Jogo, which is an awesome... Am I all right, bro? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just a little sniffly. I don't know why. Thank you for asking. I appreciate the concern. You guys are awesome. But Gojo vs. Jogo, I remember watching that in the anime the very first time, and it's super crazy in my honest opinion. Like, Gojo just absolutely destroys this man that talked all this smack, like, I can definitely take on Gojo. No man is as powerful as me. I remember in my Gojo vs. Jogo analysis video, it's really old. If you guys haven't checked it out, you probably should. It's an awesome video. I liked it. It's just such a great way to explain your power system and show how one person towers over all. I mean, like, they really made such a great case for why Gojo is the strongest. Like, all these characters have this overpowered trope character, you know what I mean? Where there's always, oh my god, there's this one character, he's so powerful, but they don't really show it well. They show this perfectly to how strong Gojo is compared to someone who is supposed to compare to 8 to 9 fingers of Sukuna. Crazy. And then overall, we move right into Mahito's introduction. And Mahito's introduction at the theater is very horror-like. Gege really excels in putting off this horror vibe, especially in the manga when he draws body horror and things like that. He really knows what to do, and I really wish he would take some kind of horror aspect after this. But we all know he wants to get to that Pop Idol manga, right? Tiberius, thank you so much for the donation. Kakaki, yikes. Kakashi's first showing, or Gojo's first showing. You know what? Gojo definitely has a much better first showing. Although I love the Land of Waves arc, and the Kakashi versus Zabuza fight is one of the craziest moments in all of Naruto that pulled me in. Like, I don't know. I think Gojo's definitely stands out more. But Kakashi versus Zabuza is also an awesome moment and also kicks off Naruto really well. Junpei arc got ruined in the anime. I love the Junpei arc in the anime. That's how I experienced it. So maybe I don't know and I can't compare it. But it's actually awesome. Like, I love the versus Mahito arc. The introduction of Junpei, which is a great way for me to get into as a character that genuinely could have been a part of the main protagonist. Like, he had a good enough backstory, he had good enough motivations to be a decent character, and he had the most tragic thing happen to him with Mahito and Geto taking advantage of him as a young sorcerer. Mahito using idle transfiguration to awaken the sorcerer gene in his brain or whatever he did, right? It's honestly very crazy. We get Mahito versus Nanami, which is a really cool battle where Nanami almost gets hurt. We see the power of a grade 1 sorcerer. We get introduced to overtime, which is really cool. The Junpei arc was made even better by the opening of the anime gaslighting us. So fucking true, right? How could you do that, right? You literally show us him in the fucking opening. So if you're an anime only, you don't realize this guy is gonna get at the end. That battle with Yuji and Junpei is really cool. Two low-level sorcerers that are just trying to duke it out between each other. It really shows that, like, the difference between, like, a battle between Nanami and Mahito is so much of a more technical, more intense battle. But between these low-grade sorcerers, probably both grade 4s, grade 3s, even it being generous, as such, was a really cool small little scuffle. And the fact that Yuji, instead of continually fighting versus Mahito, instead of continually fighting Junpei, stops and goes, hey, we've been fighting and throwing fists. Why don't we sit and talk for a minute? Let me understand you. You're right. I haven't tried to understand you. I've just tried to fight you. And he hears him out and he starts to go, damn, man, I understand. Come back to Jujutsu High. I can say, like, I can help you. I understand. We can relate to each other. And Mahito just comes down those steps. And when I tell you, anime only watching this, my jaw hit the fucking floor. When Junpei died, holy shit, man. I could not believe it. I thought this character was going to be so prominent throughout the rest of the story. I could see the dynamics of Yuji and Junpei and the fact that Junpei could become a protagonist, or maybe he doesn't become a protagonist and he stays with Mahito, and we have this constant back and forth of Junpei on the antagonist side. Imagine if we got villain Junpei and he continued to grow and Moondregs got stronger and Yuji and Junpei had this back and forth fight for the rest of the series. That'd be so crazy. Obviously, it's not the way that Gege wanted to take it, but it's some way that he could. And that's part of the reason why I see a lot of people saying it in the chat, especially Blaine on the Moon too, that, and last Shikigami, that's when I knew JJK was different, like tragic different. That's when I was like, yo, Gege had this perfect character that he could have done so much with, and he killed him. He fucking killed him. That's some hard, that takes balls. That takes a lot of balls to do. And at that moment, I was like, fuck yeah, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? Like, it really made me love everything. And then you get that memorable line from Yuji, one of the most memorable lines in the entire world that you literally cannot not think about, right? That feel, I can't think of it now. I can't think of it. I was like, it's so memorable and I can't think of it. How embarrassing is that? But when Yuji's like, the words that came out of my mouth had made every word I'd said before, made it feel like a lie. Like, the word, so fucking dope when Yuji's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Mahito. And these are the most truest statements that have ever came out of my fucking mouth in the entire world. Just insane moment. And then we get Yuji versus Mahito round 1, which wasn't the best battle, I won't lie, but it still encapsulates how much Yuji's going to go against a special grade curse spirit, technically speaking. And it does help that Sukuna is a perfect counter to Mahito, which is an awesome dynamic between the two of them, which solidifies the rivalry between Yuji and Mahito. So I think versus Mahito, just for the sake that it's the perfect follow-up to Curse Wound Must Die, the perfect way, it shows Yuji's divergent fist. I didn't even talk about that. And it also just shows Yuji's resolve and development as a character and his reasoning for wanting to be a sorcerer. And his reasoning to where if he does nothing or doesn't even fight, how can he stop people like Mahito from existing? And just for the fact that it got me existing, just for the fact that it got me caught up on the series itself, I'm going to give it we'll put it top of B, right? A is too much, right? A is too crazy. Is A too crazy? I think top of B right now is really, really good. We might move it up. Is Gojo a better mentor than Kakashi, in my opinion? I mean, I think they're both really good teachers. I couldn't really compare them. Low A, high B. We'll keep it high B for now. We'll see what else ends. We'll see what ends up in A and we'll compare it. But we'll move on. So after versus Mahito, we move on to the Goodwill Exchange event. Which in my opinion is great shonen. I don't think the Goodwill Exchange event gets enough praise for what it actually does for the story. The Goodwill Exchange event is such a great way to show, one, how Yuji, Megami, Nobara, characters that we've seen at the very beginning, have come into their own. We also see this a lot more at the very end, at the next arc after this. But most importantly, we see them go up against other sorcerers and how they fare against other students, which also gives us a way to explore people like Momo, people like Mekamaru, people like Mai, and Maki and Mai's whole dynamic. We get that awesome Panda versus Mekamaru fight. You know, we get that amazing Nobara versus Momo fight. Everybody gets a standout moment to shine in Goodwill. Yuji and Todo, the start of the besto friendship, one of the most amazing friendships to ever just happen in anime manga. I feel like the Goodwill Exchange event gets a lot of flack, and not enough love, not enough praise. Wasn't even a tournament arc. Low C, I think that's pretty crazy to say, in my honest opinion. I think it's an awesome arc. I especially enjoy the fight with Yuji and Todo versus Hanami. Definitely a very memorable fight. The introduction of Boogie Woogie is just insane. Seeing Megami's resolve grow and how he summons Max Elephant after just taming it, going up against Noritoshi. Gojo shattering the no Gojo barrier and then casting a purple. I can go back and watch the exchange event at any point in time. I think the exchange event is again slept on. It introduces Black Flash, as Blade on the Moon 2 said. So that's an awesome moment as well. I feel like you guys are gonna hate me, especially because of how the spot that I put versus Mahito. But I would have to say I definitely think Goodwill Exchange event is a level higher than both Curse Wound Must Die and versus Mahito. I thought the Goodwill event was fire. In my honest opinion, I know a lot of you guys are gonna flame me in the chat. That's completely okay. You don't have to agree with me. Vex agrees with me, and that's all that matters. As long as I got Vex on my side, I'm coolin'. It's okay, bro. Good. All right, so yeah, I think I made my case. I mean, like, it just has a bunch of awesome fights, in my honest opinion. It's the most shonen that Jujutsu Kaisen will ever get. You have a event of all the high school students getting together, able to show off all of their skills. And then the villains come in at the very end, and then Yuji has that awesome duo fight with Todo against Hanami. I'd put it just below versus Mahito, but respectable opinion either way. So, like, the thing is I like versus Mahito. I think it is a perfect, again, midpoint of season 1, but I think Goodwill event just kicks off everything that we've seen from the first half of season 1 and just presents it in such a great all-out showcase of everything that we have to offer before we then move into Origin of Obedience afterwards, which will solidify our trio's character development before they go into the crazy shit whatchamacallit, like that is Shibuya. Hey man, I've been a fentanyl and pill addict and your vids have helped me a lot. Oh, hey man, well I'm super glad that I can provide you the content that really help you a lot in your recovery, and honestly that means the world to me, that I've been able to produce content that can give you, you know, the peace of mind that you're able to continue on your journey to sobriety, man. So sincerely, I wish you the best of luck, and I know you can do it. You don't even need the luck, because I know you're gonna kill it out there. Hey, Dawson Mullen ain't been to the stream in a bit. One Piece been too fire, but Gojo Gege is starting to heat up. Yeah, you know it, man. Glad to see you here. We missed you. So I think I made my case for the Goodwill event. Right, being an A, you know, we may have our disagreements here and there, but that's okay. Moving forward, we have the Origin of Obedience. Gege needs to stop dropping banger arcs. Introduction arc would be easy A tier in any other shonen. Gege just puts it to absolute shame with the rest of the show. Now, Origin of Obedience is a personal, small little favorite mini arc of mine. Very easily digestible, very easily able to be watched. We specifically get the introduction of the death paintings, Eso, Kechizu. We even get a little bit of Choso. We don't see him physically, but we do see flashbacks of Choso. We get the introduction of Noritoshi Kamo, the omen sorcerer that did unspeakable things and created the 10 death paintings, Curse Womb hybrids. We see Kenjaku using them for his gains again, which is just sad. And we finally see Yuji, Megami, and Nobara, after everything they've been through and also honing their skills in the exchange event arc, be able to show what they've learned throughout the entirety of their short, you know, years as a sorcerer. Yuji, it's only been a month, if that. It's a really great, simple little arc that caps off season 1 to show that our 3 characters are ready for the next level, which is why at the end of this arc they get recommended for grade 1, all of them. We get Chimera Shadow Garden, which Chimera Shadow Garden is super cool. Megami fighting up against the Finger Bearer by himself and being able to exercise a special grade spirit, not because of Gojo's teachings, but because of Sukuna's goading, Sukuna's temptation of saying, hey man, you should be stronger. And Megami envisions a stronger self and is able to summon Chimera Shadow Garden. We get that double black flash with Yuji and Nobara, which is fucking crazy. To be completely honest with you, the double black flash is leveled up insanely by the anime. By tying everything together, it's actually kind of crazy how, like, it's like AMV kind of style. Actually one of the coolest things I've seen in my entire life. Do I think it's A tier? No, probably not. Probably not at all. But what I will say is it's a really fun, enjoyable read and watch. And I think it probably sits very nice and cleanly to Versus Mahito. Maybe a little bit ahead of Versus Mahito, specifically because, well, it has Chimera Shadow Garden. And Chimera Shadow Garden is one of the coolest fucking things to ever come from Jujutsu Kaisen in general. So just that alone is able to carry it up to the B tier. You can't deny it. You absolutely can't deny it. Where is the Cursed Child arc? Oh no. I missed Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I fucked up. Thank you so much for pointing that out, Koi. I missed that. And I can't add it either. Oh well. Let's just say it's an A and we'll call it at that. There's actually 19. I fucked up. Oh well. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta get a tissue. I gotta blow my fucking nose. I'll be right back, guys. I love you. I did this again. I did this last time. I gotta remember to unmute myself. I was saying, legend guy, you got exposed. You can't try to play me with that Tanjiro emoji nonsense. Get out of here. I played myself. Yeah, I checked myself before I wrecked myself. Can't deny that. Yeah, so Origin of Obedience, I think definitely sits at B tier. Awesome B. The one thing I will say moving forward, because none of this is animated, my opinions of these. Am I still muted? I'm not muted anymore, right? What was the potential Kenjaku talking about in the death painting? I don't know. Kenjaku basically said the death paintings suck. Blade on the Moon, stop trolling. So again, what I was gonna say is any of the arcs that are coming up after this have not been animated, so it's quite possible my opinions of these arcs may change going forward as I watch season 2. One of them obviously will not change. It's going to be an S tier arc, and it will always forever be an S tier arc. I'm sure you can understand which one I'm talking about already. But like I said, hidden inventory, premature death arc, you know, they may even be heightened up. So, but moving forward, we move on to hidden inventory arc. And the hidden inventory arc is, as everyone's saying in chat, one of the best arcs in Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's just stop lying about it. Sincerely, one of the greatest things in the world to see a character that is very well known and very loved, like Gojo, get an introduction arc, get basically a whole backstory and a whole way that we can explore who Gojo used to be, who he was before he basically unlocked his massive hacks abilities, who he was before he, you know, unlocked Red, who he was before he unlocked Purple, unlocked his domain expansion, when he was just a wee lad, you know? I don't know what the fuck is up with my fucking sinuses, boy. But anyway, Gojo, as a teen, very rebellious, very not like the Gojo we know today. I mean, he's still a cheeky bitch, but he's not like, I mean, I guess Gojo's kind of the same. What changed besides the fact that he's like, oh, you know what? Geto lost, and I need to make sure that I don't make the same mistake again. Teen Geto, seeing their friendship is really cool. Seeing their dynamic as the two strongest sorcerers in Jujutsu High is really cool. It's a shame that their friendship deteriorates in the later arc. But another reason that hidden inventory, I have to say, is going to be an S tier arc is going to be for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Toji Fushiguro. Toji is one of the greatest characters to grace the earth of Jujutsu Kaisen, of anime and manga in general, and just a strong character, super fun to see on screen. That's why Gege always draws him again and again. He's basically one of the sole catalysts for why Jujutsu Kaisen has even happened in general. And to be completely honest with you, his appearance is one of the most memorable things in the entire world. Him fighting against Gojo the first time, throwing the shaft grenade of fly spirits, of fly head cursed spirits, you know, his immense speed, ripping through the worm cursed spirit with the soul liberation blade, or at least the original form of it. You know, it's when he fights Geto in the Tomb of the Star, he fucking just headshots Riko and just takes her out the old-fashioned way. Geto summons the Rainbow Dragon, his strongest curses. Toji just makes them look like pieces of dirt, and then he just kicks Geto around, calls him a monkey, and that's the beginning of all of that. Like, Tiberius said Gojo asking if they should wipe everyone in that religion was kind of crazy. Like, Gojo's like, should we just take them all out? We can do it, you know? Why don't we just do it after all is said and done? And then, of course, I skipped ahead a little bit, but the Gojo awakening moment when he gets stabbed in the brain, learns reverse curse technique, and is waiting for Toji on that awesome little, you know, like, stretch of road. It's super cool. Gojo, high off his own cursed energy, is just spouting at nonsense, you know, fires a red, fires a purple, and it's just going to be super cool animated. I can't wait for it. It's just an amazing, amazing arc. Hidden inventory the entire way through is one of the best staple moments in Jujutsu Kaisen. So I have to say that it's got to be an S tier because it literally designates Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, it is just a staple piece of its story and one of the sole reasons we are where we are today. So S tier for sure. Do I think Heavenly Restriction is OP? Like how Maki survived the hit by Curse Womb Naoya at Mach 3 and she gets up instantly, and Maki's nowhere close to Toji. Well, Maki and Toji are equal level. So I'm gonna have to nip that in the butt right now. I think Heavenly Restriction is OP. It's pretty crazy. Did I do the polls for 200 members? Nah. I'm just gonna do the karaoke. It seems like that's what everybody wants, so that's what we're gonna go for. I just haven't changed the bar yet. So we're gonna do karaoke at 200 members of anime intros that you guys pick out. I'll do a set list of a concert that you guys choose, and I will further embarrass myself. So if you guys want to see me embarrass myself and sing in Japanese the anime intros that you guys pick out, please consider becoming a member. Next up after hidden inventory is going to be Premature Death arc. Now, Premature Death is kind of a little bit of a shorter arc because it specifically revolves around Geto's descent into madness. Or I really shouldn't say madness. I should say terrorism, if you really think about it. And racism. Oh god, this video is going to get demonetized. But Geto, after getting defeated by Toji, is just utterly broken. His entire life philosophy, everything he is just broken and laid out in front of it and goes, this shit doesn't fucking work. Especially with the fact that these people, they work so hard for Riko to try and keep her alive when they could have picked another star plasma vessel the entire time. So when Yuki tells Geto that breaks him even further. And he just wrestles with himself further and further until he finds those two girls, Mimiki and Nanako, who are trapped in the countryside when he's on a mission. And after ingesting thousands of curses and just getting completely fed up with everything, he calls it and he says, fuck this shit. I'm taking Jujutsu Society out. Not necessarily taking them out, but I don't agree with you guys. I'm going rogue. I'm starting my own family. And Gojo, if you're not with me, you're against me. And our friendship is over. A very sad arc. but definitely not one of the best in the series. While it's great to see Geto's downfall, it's something that we definitely needed to see in that flashback arc. It does lead perfectly into the Cursed Child arc that unfortunately we don't have listed here in the tier list. But either way, I completely agree that I'm gonna have to put it above introductory arc. But I would definitely say Cursed Womb Must Die versus Mahito, Origin of Obedience are all greater arcs than Premature Death, mostly because they have fights in them that make it really fun. Whereas Premature Death doesn't really have any fights. It's kind of just, again, Geto's downfall into madness, which is great to see. We love Geto as a character, an awesome character. We love it. But not really one that you want to read over and over again, unless you're kind of doing analysis or just trying to look more into Geto. And if Vex, as you mentioned, it is nice that the whole chat's agreeing. That's something you can't really see. It made me appreciate Geto significantly more. No, I definitely agree. It definitely is a perfect way to cap off Geto's character before we get the bomb drop that is Shibuya, right? So I'm not mad at it by any means, but I think it's just not as interesting when you compare it to the other arcs. So I think that's really what keeps it down. So moving forward from Premature Death, right after Premature Death, we move right into Evening Festival, which... contentious, I know. I fucking love Evening Festival. Evening Festival is not only one of my favorite fights in the entire series, but it's such... what Premature Death arc does for Geto, Evening Festival does 3,000 times better for Mechamaru. Just encapsulating Mechamaru's depression, his sadness, and his willingness to do literally anything, even betray his friends, and what he thinks he's doing for his friends, all for selfish reasons, is just such a true, realistic character arc, and it makes me appreciate the writing that went into Mechamaru's character. Or should I call him Kokichi? And also, the Kokichi versus Mahito fight is, again, one of my favorites in the series. I mean, Ultimate Mechamaru fighting against Mahito, where Mahito is put to the brink, or at least what Mechamaru really thinks he puts him to the brink. Just the innovation that Mechamaru did, hoarding all of his curse energy for years on his lonesome, and basically the entire fight is him trying to escape and tell his friends after closing himself off from everyone he ever knew, and, you know, being a douchebag and not liking anybody because he was upset with the, you know, cards he'd been dealt, willing to trade his cursed energy and being a Jujutsu sorcerer away just for a normal life. It's sad to think that his final battle, fighting to the death, is him trying to reach his peers, his friends. Truly sad. So in my honest opinion, I would have to put Evening Festival at an A tier. Above Goodwill Event, obviously not at the same level as something like Hidden Inventory or something like As We'll Come to Find Shibuya. But Evening Festival is such a great little mini arc. Like, sincerely, yes, above Goodwill. Mechamaru vs. Mahito is that fucking good. Yes, it's above Goodwill. I enjoy Evening Festival way more than a Goodwill. Hey, Dialectica, what's going on, man? Came in late, but still caught the stream. Happy to have you here, man. Guys, we got 129 viewers in the chat. I know we can hit 100 likes. Let me see that 100 likes, guys. Hit me up. As we move on to the next arc, which we don't even have to kind of talk about it, even though I will talk about it. It's obviously an S tier. Obviously, probably one of the best arcs in Jujutsu Kaisen, if not probably one of the best arcs in all of shonen anime and manga. Can't wait to see it get animated in season 2, because it definitely will. The Shibuya incident takes its role. Should it be on its own tier? Nah, we'll leave it an S. The Shibuya incident is one of the best fucking shonen arcs in history. The absolute fact that everything that Jujutsu Kaisen has been building towards. Literally, the disaster curses, Gojo and Geto, Yuji being a vessel, Megami's Maharaga, everyone being moved up to grade 1, and some of the sorcerers that we never have seen before in action. Now Obito, Kusakabe, Ino, all of these amazing things that we see, and in some of the craziest fights and events we could possibly ever get. I mean, the beginning of the arc starts with Gojo versus the Disaster Curses, one of the absolute best fucking fights in the series, right? We can't deny that. Gojo up against Jogo, Hanami, and technically Choso, while they use domain amplification, while Gojo, hand to hand, is just embarrassing these special grade curses still. Even without Limitless, even without using any kind of overpowered abilities, he just embarrasses Hanami and Jogo. And Hanami making the dumb decision, showing her inexperience with battle, makes this wise decision to lower her domain amplification to attack Gojo when his guard is down, when actually that's all Gojo ever wanted. We get one of the cleanest deaths in the entire series when Gojo turns Hanami into fucking dust. Crazy. We get the Kenjaku reveal that Geto, who we thought was the main villain of all time, isn't actually Geto. Geto died back in the cursed child arc when during the Night of 100 Demons, and actually we now have the brain, or Kenjaku, inhabiting Geto's body. And Kenjaku through this is what built this awesome plan, moving all of these different pieces together to basically create this perfect situation where Gojo Satoru, the Honored One, the strongest sorcerer in modern history, could be sealed within Prison Realm. And Gojo gets sealed. One of the craziest moments in the entire series that had an entire Twitter stan account for 1,154 days constantly tweet that Gojo was still sealed. Like, it's actually kind of crazy Gojo getting sealed, how much ramifications that had for the series. Watching the protagonist and Jujutsu Society crumble apart without Gojo there is insane. Because after Gojo is sealed, we get some of the craziest fights and some of the most dissenting chaos known to man in Jujutsu Kaisen. After Gojo gets sealed, we get Yuji and Megami duo fight against Asakura, which is a great fight against the inverse curse technique. It really shows that Yuji and Megami aren't really the greatest partners. They don't work the greatest together. In an actual 2v1 fight, they kind of have trouble fighting alongside of each other, but towards the end, they're able to pick things up, defeat Asakura just in time to see Ino getting thrown off the building, because Ino was fighting the grandma curse user, her special technique was using necromancy, using her grandson to turn into Toji, of all people. Toji comes back after the hidden inventory, which is another reason that this arc is S, because holy shit, Toji Fushiguro is only in peak arcs. He only shows up in peak arcs. Physically, at least, not in flashbacks. So Toji beats the shit out of Ino, starts running off to try and find the next strongest sorcerer to kill. We get Yuji versus Choso, again, one of the greatest fights in the entire series. Watching Yuji give it all and possibly be put in a similar situation to he was in Cursed Womb Must Die, where he feels like he actually might die and is put into the face of death. And instead of freaking out, crying, or having an existential crisis, he literally goes, no, this is where I'm meant to be. This is my role. I'm gonna fight to the death. That bathroom scene is insane, and Choso just being the staple poster boy for blood manipulation, much cooler than Kamo Noritoshi, by the way. Seeing unlimited blood and not being actually held back by the amount of blood you actually have in your body, right? Choso versus Yuji is an awesome fight, and it caps off with Dagon versus Naobito, Nanami, and Maki. Then Megami shows up, and then Toji shows up, which is another awesome fight. The evolution of Dagon throughout the fight, seeing projection sorcery in its prime with Naobito, seeing all of these people try and go up against the special grade curse spirit that just moments ago was a curse womb. We finally see Horizon, the captivating Skanda, the domain expansion that's a beach that we've seen hinted throughout the entire series, actually is one of the most deadly domain expansions we've seen in all of time. With the fucking invisible, never stop attacking Shikigami that just eat you alive. Just absolutely insane. So Dagon is an amazing fight. Megami using his domain expansion to literally just fucking tug of war Dagon's domain, which is an amazing feat on Megami's part. And then Toji shows up and just beats the brakes off of Dagon, pulls Megami out of the building and throws him to fight him. And meanwhile, while Toji and Megami, father and son, who don't realize, at least Megami doesn't realize, he's fighting his fucking dad, Jogo shows up, burns the shit out of Nanami, burns the shit out of Naobito and Maki, almost kills all three of them, goes to summon Sukuna by shoving and force feeding Yuji fucking Sukuna fingers. Then, while Megami's somehow trying to find a way to not die to Toji, which just shows how much he's leveled up since last fighting someone at 3-finger Sukuna level, Sukuna not only demolishes Jogo and embarrasses Jogo again. Like, the only times we've ever seen Jogo fight is to be embarrassed. Literally, the only times we've ever seen Jogo ever fight is to be embarrassed, which should say a lot. Even though I love Jogo, one of my favorite characters. But after getting absolutely burned alive by Sukuna, who we have to talk about that box open where he literally copies flames. Jogo did get robbed of a volume cover. I completely agree. Jogo should have gotten a volume cover instead of Kusakabe's bitch ass. Shibuya Incident needs its own tier list for all the things that happen in it. So true. I won't even deny that. Right? I literally can't even deny that because it's super true. So seriously, after that, we get Sukuna versus Maharaga because Megami got stuck fighting Haruta because Nobara was unable to beat Haruta. That's a fight that I completely skipped over. Nobara has her sad moment when she gets beat by Haruta, the luck curse user. Kind of sad. She does redeem herself later after watching Nanami utterly beat the brakes off the man. And when she fights Mahito later, which, just skipping ahead, after Sukuna beats Maharaga, uses his domain expansion to basically destroy almost 140 meters of Shibuya. Thousands of people are just eviscerated and turned to just dust in the wind. We get one of the greatest fights in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. Dare I say, the greatest fight in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. We get Yuji versus Mahito. Insane. Insane, right? Absolutely insane. So, after Shibuya, because after Yuji versus Mahito is where pretty much Shibuya ends, Kenjaku shows up. They have absorbs Mahito and turns him into idol transfiguration so he can start the culling game. And basically, we get that Yuji speech, the I'm you, that is peak Jujutsu Kaisen. The Yuji speech, I'm you, you can't deny, is a great moment. I can't lie about that. So you have to, you're right. You're right. That is an amazing, iconic moment. We get that small little all-out brawl with Kenjaku, Arame, and the Jujutsu sorcerers that remain. Yuki shows up, and then Kenjaku summons all the cursed spirits to start the culling game. Which, again, Shibuya Incident. one of the greatest arcs in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, one of the greatest arcs in all of anime history. I know you guys want me to give it its own tier, but I'm not going to, just out of pure fairness. We're just gonna leave it at S, top of S. Seriously, probably the best arc in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it probably won't ever change. Why didn't Kenjaku kill Miwa? The only bad thing in the arc. I completely agree, Orange. I love that take. Fuck Miwa. MKK, trash. Moving right along from Shibuya Incident. Again, gonna be probably impossible to top. The best arc to possibly just be in Jujutsu Kaisen. Next, we have the Itadori Extermination arc. I have it set to Itadori Execution because Extermination didn't fit in the square. But that is the small mini arc that we get in between Shibuya and Perfect Preparation, Maki's whole thing. Which is basically the arc that lets us have Yuta versus Yuji, the protagonist battle. Like, that arc pretty much exists so we can see how far Yuji's has come from Shibuya, where Choso literally considers Yuji a demon god after basically ingesting literally 15 of Sukuna's fingers at this point. We see him beat up a bunch of grade 1 curses, no problem. Naoya shows up because this is where we find out that the Zenin clan head, after Naobito dying, has been moved to Megami. So we find out Megami is the new Zenin clan head, and Naoya is showing up to find Yuji to find Megami. We get Yuta versus Yuji, who Yuta shows up to execute Yuji. We get Choso versus Naoya, which is an awesome fight. Yuta versus Yuji is an awesome fight. Really cool. And then we find out that after Rika just manhandles Yuji, and Yuta kills Yuji, he beats the binding vow he had with the higher-ups and is able to defect with Yuji. So he, Megami, Yuji, Maki, and all the other key players can stop the culling game. So it's basically just a transitionary period from the Shibuya incident into the overall arc of the culling games as a whole. So it's really not that notable. Yuta versus Yuji is an awesome fight. Things were popping off while that was going on in the manga weekly. Naoya versus Choso was also an awesome fight to see. So I'd have to say I definitely put it above Origin of Obedience. Would I put it above Goodwill? I'd put Itadori Execution at high B. High B. Speaking of blind vows, why did the binding vows that Kenjaku made with the ancient sorcerers become null when he possessed Geto? Because technically speaking, he's inhabiting a different body, which is also why the culling game, he's considered Suguru Geto, not Kenjaku. That's also why Sukuna, despite being inside Megami, is considered Megami Fushiguro by the culling game. Itadori Execution is an awesome fight. An awesome small little mini arc. I won't lie, but I do not put it at the same level or having the same kind of emotional impact or just showing how far our characters have come and just having just a big showcase of what the series is all about. It's just not at that same level. It is at the same level as something like Origin of Obedience, where we get Chimera Shadow Garden versus Mahito, we get Gojo versus Jogo, Yuta versus Yuji, and Choso versus Naoya are awesome fights, but they're not really like absolutely intensified. So I put it at high B. It's definitely better than all the arcs in B, but I wouldn't put it at the same level as Evening Festival or Goodwill Event, where it invokes emotion in me. You know what I mean? So after Itadori Execution, we get Perfect Preparation arc, which Perfect Preparation arc is a personal favorite of mine. I like Perfect Preparation arc because Maki as a character is a really awesome character. Just this character that has been beaten down and oppressed her entire life, told she couldn't accomplish what she wanted to accomplish, told she couldn't be a sorcerer, and just sit down, act like a woman, and stay in the kitchen and be a servant. And Maki said, fuck that shit. I'm gonna be the best grade 1 sorcerer y'all ever done fucking seen. And after getting burned to a crisp by Jogo, she looks like a fucking hard ass. She looks like a fucking badass fucking James Bond fucking action villain hero. And she goes to basically take all the cursed weapons and tools out of her family's headquarters. I'm not sure where all those cursed tools and weapons went, but whatever. Moving forward, she gets taken out by her dad, Ogi, who is a wat loser. But because she's not a sorcerer, at the end of the day, no matter how strong she gets or what cursed tools or cursed weapons she uses, a sorcerer who can use supernatural abilities will always be better than a normal person. And after Mai, who was also beaten down and brought to the Zenin clan cellar, gave up her life to basically make Maki absolute zero, the same as Toji. Now, after awakening to her true form of heavenly restriction and having no cursed energy whatsoever, her strength goes through the roof. She murks her dad, annihilates her entire clan, including the elites of the clan, Jinpachi, Ranta, Chojuro, all losers who didn't fucking matter whatsoever, just fucking based and fucking slapped around. We get that awesome little fight with Naoya and Maki at the end there, where Maki, despite getting whipped around and beaten up by Naoya pretty much the entire fight, the reason she's letting this happen is because she's literally counting down the frames as Naoya is moving and using projection sorcery. So literally, at the very end, when she lands that one final decisive hit on Naoya, that one last punch that literally just breaks his skull almost, she was able to count 24 frames and move right at the last second where she wouldn't have been turned into a projection frame, which if you ask me is dope as fuck. I think it's very awesome. And she wasn't even fully awakened there, as KK Stuff said in the chat. So I think Perfect Preparation is one of those awesome, amazing moments where, again, you get amazing action, but one thing that elevates it above other arcs for me is the emotional arc behind it. Maki is finally able to take down her clan herself, like she said she would. Even all the way back in Cursed Child arc, Jujutsu Kaisen 0, she tells Yuta she doesn't need help. She's gonna take down the Zenin clan herself. And she fucking does. So, and if you think about it, Naobito, the person and the crux of all of the oppression and basically held downness of her life that she felt being from him, while Naobito was killed, she's able to essentially surpass him in spirit, surpassing his successor and the person that inherited the same curse technique, Naoya Zenin. So I think at the end of the day, she proved that she surpassed Naobito because she surpasses his son, Naoya. Perfect Preparation, easy A. I don't think I'd put it above Evening Festival. I think I'd put them both at the same level. Actually, yeah, Perfect Preparation, top of A. I don't think it's an S tier. I wouldn't put it at the same level as Hidden Inventory or fucking Shibuya Incident, because those are, again, full staples of Jujutsu Kaisen and made it what it is today. Perfect Preparation arc is just below that, in my opinion. Her Perfect Preparation arc, while being awesome, is definitely top of A, not an S tier arc. Perfect Preparation arc, one of my personal favorites, but I'm even being realistic here, guys. All right, don't throw these tomatoes at me. Stop. Doesn't Perfect Preparation include Akari? I did split it up. As you'll see, I have Gachinko Fight Club as its own mini arc, which we're gonna rate right now. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream. We're having a really good time. We're actually almost through this tier list. It's not a long tier list by any means. But I thought this would be fun and a perfect thing to do on break week while we wait for more Gojo time, right? So, moving forward, as I said before, we have the Pachinko Fight Club, which would be the very next arc that we take care of. Explosive Grape, you're leaving. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good rest of the day, brother man. So the Pachinko Fight Club is a fight art, it's stun locked. Oh shit, Tiberius gifted me the membership. Thank you so much, Tiberius, for the gifted membership. King, absolute king, just like Orange said. So the Pachinko Fight Club is memorable for one reason and one reason only. We finally get introduced to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Hikari. The character that we have been waiting to have introduced to us for over 140 chapters now. It's a pretty fun arc. It's not really, again, like I said, it's nothing compared to Perfect Preparation on Maki's side of things, but it really shows how determined Megami is when Megami just walks up to that Fight Club guard and the guard tries to make him flinch by throwing a fist in his face, and Megami just sits there and doesn't even flinch an inch while his hair just like, he goes, "Are you done?" And then Megami is the star of this arc, right? He really is, because Megami is not only showing his prowess with the 10 shadows technique, being able to dip in and out of his shadow and take out the guards that are guarding the Pachinko parlor, basically stealth and keep information and take information from people. He really is able to show how versatile the 10 shadows can be, not just in fights, but in stealth. Yuji fighting Panda was really cool. As they're like fighting, they're exchanging information with each other as they're fighting. Hikari's introduction, as I said before, is very cool. And I don't know about anyone else, but I personally really think Kirara versus Megami is one of the better fights in the series. I personally really like Kirara's curse technique. It's a really cool, interesting technique. A very, even though I haven't seen it, Hunter x Hunter kind of style fight where they have to kind of fill the win conditions to win. Megami being able to figure that out, and when he finally beats Kirara, he restrains her and she goes, "What do you want now? Are you gonna beat me?" And he goes, "No." And he just fucking lowers his, bows his head and everything like that. Super, super cool, respectable, love that. And the fact that Yuji just gets the shit beat out of him by Hikari, he's literally willing to, just like have his nose flattened and broken. Like, just absolutely insane, just to prove a point that, like, look, I don't want to fight you, I need you on my team. And then they're finally willing to listen, because Gojo being sealed is just so unrealistic to them that, like, both Kirara and Hikari wouldn't believe him. Isn't that crazy? So I would definitely put Pachinko Fight Club, just because of that Kirara and Megami fight. I'd put it right around in B tier. Probably right around versus Mahito. I would probably put it, yeah, right around Origin of Obedience versus Mahito and Pachinko Fight Club. I think it's very simple, very easy arc just to get through to recruit Hikari and Kirara. But that Kirara and Megami fight really elevates it for me. If there wasn't that Kirara and Megami fight, I'd probably put it in C tier and on top of Premature Death. But again, that Kirara fight really, I'll put it at the bottom of B, because Curse Who Must Die does have Sukuna and Megami, and I enjoy Sukuna versus Megami a lot more than Kirara versus Megami. So bottom of B tier. Nah. Would I put it in B, or should it be top of C? Should it be top of C or in B, guys? What are your guys' opinions? I'm kind of conflicted here, because I'm kind of thinking, I wouldn't really like Origin of Obedience versus Mahito, Curse Who Must Die, all have, reasonable moments to put them in B. Mid B, B, top C. I'm gonna put it top of C right now, and we'll see if things change. We'll see if things change. I will be moving introduction arc into D tier though. I'm gonna go back and what you guys said, I completely agree. Introduction arc compared to Premature Death or Gachinko Fight Club, they just have so much more merit to the story. Even though they're not as interesting as the other arcs, they still have more merit than Introduction arc does. So Introduction arc, definitely the lowest point of the series for sure. Chat Civil War. Nah, I think we're pretty neck and neck. We're okay here. It reminds me more of a fight straight out of JoJo. Very five-head kind of fight. I completely agree, Lefo. I enjoy Megami vs. Kirara. Love it. So, moving forward, we only have a couple arcs left, which are pretty much the last couple arcs of the series. We have pretty much all of the final arcs that we've seen. The final Culling Game arcs. Culling Game. I can't talk today. I don't know why. The Culling Game arcs. So, first things first, you know what? Why don't we go in order? Let's go in order, shall we? Tokyo Colony number 1. Uno Mas trying to hit Aaron or Dev. I really wish you could pick who you give a gifted membership to, because I swear to God, Tiberius, you will try forever to try and give them one of the memberships, and YouTube will know you're trying to give it to them and will not. Look, it just went to Ryan. See, I told you. I mean, Ryan, congratulations, enjoy your membership. But like, I think it's kind of a lost cause to hopelessly fire out these memberships and hope one of these guys gets it. I'm just being honest with you. Save your money. Although I appreciate the gifted membership, Tiberius. Thank you very much. Aaron Brown does need, don't get me wrong, Aaron Brown is a longtime supporter. I've seen him in the chat multiple times. I love it. I hope he gets that Sakuna badge. I'm just being realistic here. We're fucking shooting shots in the dark here with these gifted members. You know what I mean? The character may die, but the agenda doesn't. LOL. True. All right, Tokyo Colony number 1. So Tokyo Colony number 1, that's Yuji's part of the Culling Game as well as Megami's part of the Culling Game, which both of them are relatively really cool in my honest opinion. Yuji versus Higuruma is an amazing fight. Megami fighting Reggie's gang, as well as then going to fight Reggie afterwards. Awesome little small little mini arc for Megami as well as for Yuji. Yuji fighting the helicopter dudes. Classic. The fact that he literally busts and fractures Homeboy's skull through his little metal helicopter with his bare fist, and Yuji just goes, ow, that kind of hurt. All right, let's go. Let's move on. And then he goes to fight Higuruma. Higuruma has an amazing character introduction, being this awesome lawyer who has just lost his way, become delusional, and just is trying to find any way to find reasoning in this crazy death game that just started here. And Yuji, this character who just punishes himself for everything that has happened that's not necessarily his fault. But Yuji is the final person that's able to make Higuruma see the light, which is just beautiful. It's an amazing fight, and it's an amazing character that Gege crafted out of Higuruma. Like, Higuruma, there's a reason why Higuruma, even after not showing up in so many chapters, still has left an impression on so... Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. He still left an impression on a lot of people, goddammit. And, you know, Reggie's part with Remy, Megami, And Takaba, as you guys are all mentioning, Takaba shows up to save Megami when Megami's fighting with Regi's gang. Hazanoki's an awesome character. Megami killing Chisabe, or the one dude, Chobe, whatever the dude's name is, who is part of Regi's gang that Megami actually full on just fucking kills. Megami determined to find the way to save his sister. Respectable. Definitely top of A for sure. Not by any means on the same level as Hidden Inventory or Shibuya Incident, but Tokyo Colony #1 is the shit. Definitely was a great introduction to the culling games, and it's crazy to think of how far away that really was from where we are now in the story. Bro, don't disrespect my boy Aza Chobe by calling that claw loser Chobe. Yeah, you're right. That was really fucked up. Aza Chobe in Hell's Paradise is him. So I shouldn't have done that. That is really fucked up. By the way, Hell's Paradise video, I know I said it would come out today. I don't have time to work on it today. So I will be dropping it tomorrow. I just have to finish the music and sound effects. And then I'll upload it probably tomorrow, 11 a.m. Does that sound good, guys? 11 a.m. tomorrow? Before the episode. So anyway, Tokyo Colony #1, both halves of it, Yuji's half and Megami's half, awesome arc, really completes that colony perfectly. That being said, we have another A tier fucking Shibuya might need its own tier. Yeah. You guys were completely right. Shibuya needs its own tier. Because now that I'm thinking about it, it's crazy to say that Hidden Inventory is on the same level as Shibuya. Common chat W. Yeah, definitely common chat W. So, cause Sendai Colony is definitely a crazy fucking arc. One of the craziest arcs of all of Jujutsu Kaisen. And I would have to say Tokyo Colony #1 probably sits. Is this right? Did I fuck up the tier by doing this? It's amazing that the story gets 10 times better when everything gets 10 times worse for the characters. Yeah, I mean, I know, right? Highest A for Tokyo Colony #1. You know what? Yeah, I fucked up. Nope. Common chat L, actually. Common chat L, actually. Why'd you let me do that? Keeping everything the same. Sendai Colony's top of A. Sendai Colony is just the greatest way to just show how Yuta is the shit. Like, it's actually kind of crazy the way that Yuta goes through one crazy opponent to the next crazy opponent to the next crazy opponent to the next. It really shows that even though Yuta isn't specifically completely ready to replace Gojo as the strongest sorcerer in the modern era, he's well on his way. Because he can domain expansion, he's able to fight two very high grade 1 level sorcerers, probably higher than any grade 1 level sorcerers we have in our modern era, right? So Yuta, while also declaring he's going to be the one to kill Kenjaku, really does show that him alone is a powerhouse enough to take on and conquer an entire colony with 4 characters, again, 4 characters that were strong enough to create an entire deadlock throughout the entire colony. Sendai Colony, the strongest colony out of everybody. Can I zoom in a little bit? Is that better? Hold on. There you go. So yeah, Sentai Colony, top of A for sure. Without a doubt, Sentai Colony's top of A. Yuta was capping so hard when he said he was gonna beat Kenjaku. Super cool. He used Drew's ability right after killing him. Yeah, that is definitely an iconic moment, as well as we see how Yuta's curse copy ability truly works. And we also get a hint as to what the condition might be. And it's not conditionless. So yeah, we do learn a lot about Yuta. We learn a lot about Oro, the Fujiwara clan. I wouldn't say we learn a lot about the Fujiwara clan, but they're still mentioned. They're still there, right? Up next, we have Tokyo Colony number 2, which again, we have another top tier A fight, or A arc, which, I guess Goodwill and Evening Festival don't really sit at the same level here, do they? Have to move them down. Legend Guy 10 said, called it. Hey, man. You were right. It is what it is. Just leave it be. You don't got to tell me you told me so. It's fine. It appears Hikari arcs always let me down. Tokyo Colony 2 was crazy. What are you talking about? Tokyo Colony 2, Hikari's introduction fight against Charles was a great way to show how overpowered Hikari is even without his domain expansion. It was the perfect way to introduce his domain expansion in order to have him in jackpot already ready to fight Kashimo. And Kashimo, after decimating Panda, I mean, to say that Tokyo Colony number 2 isn't one of the best arcs in the series is crazy. What's up, Sleep in Danger? Welcome to the party. Yeah, I mean, Hikari vs. Kashimo, in my opinion, is one of the greatest fights in the entire series. Definitely one of the best. I would probably put Sentai Colony over Tokyo Colony number 2, to put top of A at Sentai Colony, but Tokyo Colony number 2 is definitely high A, just because, again, even though it is just 2 fights, 3 fights if you count Panda versus Kashimo, even though I wouldn't really consider that a fucking fight. Hikari versus Kashimo is just such a great back and forth. But you know what? It doesn't have any emotional weight or really any crazy character development or really anything detrimental to the story or something that's crazy. It just has a great fight. So I'm gonna have to say top of B. As I just realized, I'm pretty much kind of ranking this arc based off of Hikari versus Kashimo, and I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. Sentai Colony has a lot of different things where we learn a lot about Yuta, we learn a lot about the past, we learn a lot about sorcerers from the ancient era. We see domain expansion clash with 3 domains. We do see a lot out of Sentai Colony. Whereas Tokyo Colony 2, we just get an awesome fight. What character moments, what crazy emotional weight, what crazy story developments do we get out of Tokyo Colony 2 besides whatever? Was Kokichi in its own arc? That's one fight. Yes, Kokichi was considered Evening Festival arc. It was the transition arc between Hidden Inventory and Shibuya. Tokyo Colony 1 definitely had much better character moments. We learned a lot more about the story. We got more plot development. Yeah, I definitely say that arc-wise, Tokyo Colony 2 is B. Fight-wise, it's one of the top. Now, moving forward, I won't lie to you. We have one of my, honest to God, least favorite arcs. Probably my least favorite arc in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is Sakurajima Colony. Sakurajima, in my honest opinion, could have been a lot cooler. Naoya's curse form, while seeing it come back, was really cool. The misogyny missile was a really funny meme. The misogyny missile giving us that meme, I mean, was well worth an upgrade from D to C. Maki's awakening is absolutely amazing. Maki's awakening is absolutely amazing. What are you guys doing to me over here? I'm all fucked up. Maki's awakening is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that panel of Maki opening her eyes and her extra sensory with heavenly restriction finally unlocks. She's able to see things in the air. She's able to use her sword in ways that were never done before. Maki's power-up was handled perfectly. Everything else, in my honest opinion, wasn't handled that great. Wasn't that fun to read? I won't be going back and reading it anytime soon. Kamo's power-up moment was lame as fuck. Sumo Guy and Sword Guy were cool introductory characters that showed up randomly to help Maki, but where are they now? We'll never know. So I'll have to say Sakurajima Colony goes in C tier for sure. Above Premature Death Arc because of Maki's awakening, but below Gachinko Fight Club because Kirara vs Megami is, in my opinion, a more fun fight than fucking Naoya vs Maki was. So, RIP. Bad take? Hey, it is what it is. I'm just being honest with y'all. Just being honest with y'all. That's whose arc was rushed, in my opinion. Awesome, but rushed. Yeah, it felt like Gege, in my opinion, felt like he knew he needed to hit this story beat, but he didn't know the best way to do it, in my honest opinion. You know, he just really didn't. Yeah. I don't really have much to say about Sakurajima Colony. It was my least enjoyable culling game moment, to be completely honest with you. For one of my favorite characters, one of my least enjoyable moment. It's all subjective, bro. No worries. Exactly. Leave me alone. But anyway, guys, give me a second. My fucking nose is driving me absolutely insane. I have to get another fucking tissue. I love you all. I'll be right back, and then we're gonna finish this tier list up, boys and girls. The worst part is I'm literally not even fucking sick. Like, it's only when I come to hang out with you guys that I get fucking sniffly. I was completely fine until I came up here. What's wrong? You guys do this to me. Noritoshi felt like he was being set up to have his own cool moments, but the arc went nowhere with his character. I completely agree. Yeah, he got like a small little, the ability to recycle his blood, but like other than that, like, who cares? Aaron Brown tried to, thank you so much for reminding me to unmute myself, even though I did not, I didn't mute myself this time. I was smart about it. All right, guys, so let's finish this shit up. we're at the last two final arcs because we're pretty much, after this 2-week break, we're going to be moving into what I assume is the next phase of the culling game. Or maybe something completely different. Who knows? But up next, we have Kenjaku Rising, which is what I called it. That's probably not the actual name of the arc. I won't lie to you. But that's just what we're going to go ahead and call it for now, which Kenjaku Rising is going to be pretty much from chapter right after Sakurajima Colony ends to right before Yuji, Megami, and Maki meet up to give to switch Sumiki out of the culling game. So it has everything to do with the soldiers. It has everything to do with Yuki versus Kenjaku. And it also has everything to do with the initial meeting of them finding out Sukuna's the fallen one. Yuji, Megami, Angel, and Takaba discussing their ideas of what they're going to do with all of their points now that they've collected everything together. And it also will show Kenjaku's political dissent of all the different countries in America, showing them that sorcerers can be used as unlimited amounts of energy source to trick all the different countries into invading the culling games, to then sick cursed spirits on them and have them all get destroyed and killed by all the cursed spirits just as fuel for the merger. Craze, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation, brother. Hope you and everyone in the chat is having a blessed day. Do you think during the month's time skip, Meguna's body will continue to break down? I completely agree. I definitely do believe that Sukuna will just further grow into Megami's body. I don't think Megami's coming back. You guys already know how I feel about Megami just being out for the count. I wouldn't be upset if that happened. But yeah, I mean, the longer Sukuna has a hold over Megami, we know the worse it is. Angel even said it herself when Angel was trying to use Jacob's ladder to stop Sukuna. She said, Hana, the quicker we do this, the faster we can stop their souls from fusing. But I imagine the longer they're together, the harder it is to break. But the fact that Kenjaku basically tricked the United States and all of these other countries, China, everywhere, we didn't see any other countries, but we can only assume there was more of them, to invade Japan and try and steal these sorcerers. We know some of them got kidnapped. We saw Remy get kidnapped. And then we saw some of the soldiers literally eradicate some of the curse users, like the helicopter guy got beaten up by one of the soldiers. Hazanoki was fine, was taking down sorcerers. We don't know where people like Higuruma or things like that are, but hopefully they're okay. We see Yuji and Co kind of dealing with the sorcerers, fighting against them and having not really any problems handling them. Even going so far as to have Angel save them from a fate that they have no idea what they signed in for. So yeah. That one poor soldier getting literally used as bait with just putting a hook through him and using him as bait for other cursed spirits is just crazy. Scary stuff. But as we know, the main part of Kenjaku Rising, the name that we're going for it right now, is Yuki and Choso versus Kenjaku, which is an amazing fight, not just for character moments that we get with Choso finally confronting his father and finally being able to show him that the death paintings weren't a waste, especially when putting all of the death paintings together and combining all of their attack power. They were actually able to put Kenjaku up against the wall enough to force him to use a curse technique that was not curse spirit manipulation, which is an awesome, I'd say that's a W for Choso, right? Being able to level himself up to the point where he can actually fight his father, even though his father is that much stronger than him and beats him up in the very beginning of the arc. Now, Yuki showing up, I know everybody has a whole lot of contention with, simply because of how she ends the fight. But we have to agree that Yuki first showing up, learning about her curse technique, and watching her as she demolishes Kenjaku before he summons his domain was really fun. Yuki getting hurt by the domain expansion, getting crumpled up like a fucking rag doll, but still being willing to fight Kenjaku even though her limbs are literally twisted and contorted. Crazy. Absolutely insane to me. So really cool. Yuki, even though she ends up killing herself with that one final in a video game, in that one final black hole move she uses with her mass manipulation to try and take out Kenjaku, even though she basically uses that in vain because she doesn't save Kenjaku at all due to having anti-gravity, which we learned that his gravity curse technique that Kenjaku has is actually the reversal of the real curse technique, which is anti-gravity, that he stole from Yuji's mom of all people, which literally confirms that Yuji's mom was a sorcerer. So it is a very fun fight that pretty much makes the arc worth it, because the parts with the soldiers, the political intrigue, although being massive lore dumps, are really just a means to an end for Kenjaku to basically fill up the spots he needed and fill up energy he needed to complete the merger. So I definitely think I would have to put Kenjaku Rising at an A. Probably definitely at an A, maybe top of A, I would say. Just such awesome character moments. Such a great finale fight to cap off the Culling games. And it really does set up the expectations level great for what happens next, which is the last arc of the part of the series that we're up to now, because now that we're on our 2-week break, our 2-week hiatus, we're about to kick off the next phase of the story for sure, now that Gojo has been unsealed. So the final arc, which will encapsulate Yuji, Megami, and Angel meeting up with Tsumiki, and the last arc of the story that we've seen now with Gojo getting unleashed, which is what I have cleverly named The Fallen Rises, which I don't think we have much contention with. While it's definitely not a Shibuya incident level, it's definitely hidden inventory level. The Fallen Rises, Megami getting taken over by Sukuna, brought the community, it took the community by storm. No one saw this coming. People theorized about evil Megami. People theorized about Megami reviving Sukuna, but Sukuna swapping bodies, especially using the Enchain vow, especially where we would have never seen it coming, or used to be used for this way, was so crazy, so catastrophic. It took the community by storm for weeks. We were high off of this for months, guys. This was probably one of the greatest twists in the entire series. Well, I definitely don't think it stands at the same level as Shibuya Incident as a whole. I definitely think this 10 chapter, 11 chapter stretch, probably around 10 chapters, this 10 chapter stretch definitely sits at the same level as Shibuya Incident or events that we've gotten in Shibuya. Yes, it reminded me of Shibuya hype. It reminded me of Shibuya hype. That's because I can't even speak because of how fucking crazy it was. We get Sukuna taking over Megami, Yuji's prophetic power up, or we don't know what it is yet, but Yuji fighting up against Sukuna. We got that Yuji Maki duo team up against Sukuna. We get Sukuna taking the bath and then fighting Yorozu, all capping off with Gojo being unsealed. I dare say one of the greatest stretch of 10 chapters I've seen in a shonen manga since the Shibuya Incident. Nothing has really come close to it, in my honest opinion. It truly does sit as one of the greatest, 10 chapter stretches and I've seen it in a couple years. I mean, yeah, it caps off this phase of the culling game perfectly. And I dare say it definitely sits at the same level as Shibuya, way above Hidden Inventory. Nah, the Yorozu stuff puts it down a tier. Absolutely not. Yorozu fight was great, was a great fight, and anyone that doesn't think so is capping. That's the fact. That's the tea. If you don't like it, it is what it is. I loved Yorozu. I thought she was a great character, and I thought her fight was awesome. All of the amazing new forms that we get from the 10 Shadows as well. New form Nue, new form Max Elephant. Absolutely insane. New form Divine Dogs. Crazy. So I have to say, with that, we've pretty much capped off the entire arcs of... I can't even finish this. I can't believe you guys are talking shit about Yorozu. Meguna vs. Yorozu was peak. Listen to Craze. KK Stuff says no op is based. Thank you. I didn't like Yorozu at all. Sorry. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Everyone's allowed their own opinion. I thought Yorozu was a perfect character. Guys, that is everything. 18 story arcs. Minus Cursed Child. If I had to, I'd put Cursed Child in A tier, now that you know, without a doubt. That's every story arc in Jujutsu Kaisen ranked and explained. With obviously, as everyone could have expected, Shibuya Incident at number 1. An introduction arc at the very last spot as the weakest arc in Jujutsu Kaisen. Which, I mean, hey, I'm going to move Sakurajima Colony. Because I definitely prefer a premature death to Sakurajima Colony. Anyway, this is the definitive Jujutsu Kaisen story arc tier list. There is no way any of you can argue against this. I am infallibly right. I hope I didn't say that word wrong. Infallibly. All right. Well, you know what? I might not be able to say that word, but I can rank story arcs correctly. God damn it. So thank you all so much for being here with me, making this tier list. I'm going to save this tier list, post it, post it somewhere, post it on my Twitter, which if you don't follow me on Twitter, definitely go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I'm about to fucking take of my home screen. Go follow me on Twitter, where you'll see me post this. You'll see how people feel about it. I'm sure I'll get a lot of replies. I'll also post it on the community page as well. Guys, I'm gonna be pretty much winding the stream down for like the next 5 minutes or so. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about the tier list, or just Jujutsu Kaisen, or about me in general, this is your chance. I'm glad you guys had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun too. Can I post a link to the tier list maker? I can do that too, yeah. I made the tier list, it's mine. Tiberius with the gifted membership, thank you so much. Went to Alex OK, almost. We tried, we got an A. We got to an A, but it wasn't Aaron Brown, but Alex OK deserves that membership too. How many more arcs do I think there'll be? Probably like a good 4 or 5 more mini arcs, I would say. That's just, me guessing. I could probably be wrong with that one. Because we're pretty much going into what seems to be the final arc, right? So I really only expect us going to about chapter early 300s, like not even 310, like 302, 303, like that's where I see everything ending, but I might be wrong. Will there be anime endings in the karaoke? There may be. What I'm gonna do is, once we hit 200 members, I will be dropping a community post for members only that will be able to basically pick out a set list, and we'll vote on a set list that I'll do for the karaoke. So that's basically what we've got for sure. We're gonna do karaoke at 200 members. That's a fact. The Miwa stream will be coming soon. I'm just waiting for the outfit to get tailored and sent to me. I have the wig, I have the sword. I'm just waiting for the outfit. So I will keep you guys updated on that. Again, 200 members goal will be the karaoke stream of anime openings and endings sung in Japanese to embarrass myself and also offend the Japanese. Because I'm sure people will love that, and I'm sure it will go over. It'll be very kosher. I've got my Hell's Paradise video dropping tomorrow. Please be here and support that. That will be awesome. I'm going to finish that tonight. And definitely don't forget Higher Ups Meeting 2 with Diavolo, Broken Ronin, and Creams, the honored ones, will be on May 6th, Saturday. Mark your calendars. May 6th. I haven't picked out a time yet, but May 6th, it will go for about 3 to 4 hours. And we're going to be talking about the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen, as well as a Shibuya incident. All about Shibuya incident, baby. So guys, definitely don't miss that. That's again May 6th on next Saturday. Higher Ups Meeting 2 with Diavolo, Creams, and Broken Ronin. Do I agree that for someone to be considered a special grade sorcerer, you have to be able to single-handedly beat Toji or Maki? I don't know. Any advice on pursuing a lover? Also, what started my journey on YouTube? I don't have a lot of dating advice, but my dating advice would be keep yourself clean. Just keep yourself, hygiene is important. Keep yourself very clean. Make sure you smell good. You use deodorant. You wear cologne. Make sure you dress nice. It doesn't have to be too nice, but just make sure you don't look like a jamoke. You know what I mean? Dress nice pants. Dress nice shirt. And just like, you know what I mean? When I was younger and I didn't know how to talk to girls when I was younger, I had one of the greatest advice given to me that I've ever thought about. And it really changes the way you think about it. Talk to a girl the same way you would your friend. They're not different creatures. They're not different species, goddammit. Or if you're talking to boys, I'm sorry. If you're talking to whoever, talk to the people that you're trying to like and date the same way you would a friend. If you look at them as someone you're looking to be friends with, as opposed to someone you're looking to date or a creature to obtain or, conquer, then the conversation will go a lot easier because there's no pressure, god damn it. You know what I mean? Can we get a computer background reveal or a no-op light skin stare? Absolutely not. Does acting like Naoya get girls no-op? You know what? I'll let you figure that one out. Start acting like Naoya in your everyday life and see if that gets you anywhere. Rule 1, be attractive. Not true. If you are going by that logic, you are already at a fucking loss, my good sir. Because not for nothing, a lot of you 3 or 4s out there would be a 6 or a 7 if you just fucking did your fucking hair right. You fucking jamokes. If you did your hair right, you clean yourself up, use a little bit of moisturizer on your face instead of looking like a fucking caveman, you might actually be attractive. Or you know what? An age-old tale of things that have been observed in nature. She let me hit because I'm goofy. My man, you just gotta be funny. You could look like a turd. If you can make a girl laugh, you're already halfway there. Seriously, people say that that's not a joke. That's true. That's true. I'm happily in a relationship. But when I tell you, when I was single, like, being funny is half the battle. Riz don't have a face. Exactly. Riz don't got a goddamn face. I'm 26, Aaron Brown. And also, guys, I've been here long enough. I'm not here for life advice, although I appreciate you guys trusting me to give you this, to give you these answers. I appreciate all of you guys being here and hanging out with me. This was a fun tier list. I love doing these things. I hope you guys also enjoyed. Hit me with a like button if you haven't already on the stream. Hit me with a subscribe button if you haven't already. And please consider becoming a member of the channel to not only show undying support and help me make better content for you guys and make a big difference, but also to see me embarrass myself at this karaoke nonsense. I will see you guys on Wednesday sharp next week. Check out my Hell's Paradise video next tomorrow. And Red Panda, you had a question. What was your question? Do I think Yuji will wield blood blades, the blood from his siblings and the blades from Sukuna? Yuji did say he needed to learn how to imbue weapons with cursed energy better. That would be really fucking cool. If he had like blood sickles or something like that. Or like he gets a sword, as someone keeps mentioning, he gets a sword of Ainu or Akainu or something like that. If Yuji wielded blood blades or a blood sword, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that would be super cool. Do I think that's something that Gege has been hinting towards? Not really, in my honest opinion. I don't think I've seen any kind of hints of that, but I'm just saying if it happened, I'd be all for it. Anyway, guys, I love you. I hope you all have a great rest of the week. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, peace, peace.